Day 2, living in the van. Last night we slept really well. We were up on the bed, on our air mattresses. Plenty of room up there. We had the fantastic vent cracked, but not spinning for most of the night. Stayed plenty toasty in here. We didn't need the heater after the initial 5 minutes we turned it on. And quiet, uneventful night. The fridge does kick on a little bit more than I'd like, and it sounds like a car just pulled up next to you. So it took me a while to get used to that and say, oh, it's just a fridge. It's not someone outside of our camp. So it's a very different way to travel, but I'm loving where it allows us to be. Fender's sharing his bed with the drone charger. That's the reason we've avoided having a drone so long, because we knew we'd have to have 3 batteries, chargers, the controller, the phone to run it all, and the drone itself. Thank goodness DJI made the Mavic, which is so compact. Otherwise, we would not have a drone still. Hoping to get some cool drone footage today. We've been working for about 7 hours today. Got another hour or 2 to go, and then we'll be ready to go play and ride the mountain bikes. We're on BLM land right now in California. There's not a whole lot of it, but there is some. And it's cool. They even let you practice shooting up here. Unfortunately, people like to shoot clay pigeons with handguns and rifles and leave the clay pigeons behind like they'll magically biodegrade. That doesn't happen, so we're going to clean it up. We enjoy target shooting as well, but we always pick up our stuff. At least there's no TVs or fridges or anything out here, but come on guys, this is gorgeous. Gorgeous area. Let's not leave these behind. The good news is there are a lot of responsible shooters these days. It's just 1 or 2 bad eggs in there that make everyone else look bad. But the efforts of leave no trace and tread lightly are really making a positive impact, and people are starting to learn how to recreate without damaging the environment as well. That is a lot of clay pigeons to pick up in one small area, but it looks a lot better.
Well, we picked up as much garbage as we could. We're gonna go have some fun now.
Yeah. This is classic Northern California riding here. This is perfect. Fender's picking up all the ticks.
Oh, he got a bad one. That might have been from last night.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Well, we thought we got them all last night, but I think he got one. You're so good, you poor little guy. Teresa always brings tweezers, which we know if you use tweezers, it's easy to pull the body off and leave the head in there, but we don't have any other options right now. There are 3 methods I've read about online. One is using tweezers, which is discouraged because it pulls off the body and the head stays in there burrowing, sucking blood. 2 is to smother it with Vaseline and it runs out of air and it has to eject itself and turn around and pop out to get air, and then you grab it. 3 is to flick it away with the credit card.
Oh, want to set anything on the ground?
There's one. Jerk.
Would you mind?
That's gotta be uncomfortable, buddy. I know, buddy. You are so good. Never had tick problems in Utah before. I know they're there, but not where we live.
Poor baby.
Poor
Now
guy.
we're gonna have to do some research about what we need to do for him.
Thank you for calling Little Creek Veterinary Clinic. This is Amanda. How may I help you?
Hey, we were out in the hills and our dog, he got a tick and it's all dark. And we pulled it off. I think we got the head, but I think there were still some little mouth grabby things on there. Like we've been using Activil on him, but like what should we do? Should we bring him in? Or is there anything to do at this point to treat him?
Do you think there's something left in there?
I think that there might be, yeah.
If it's his head and if you put oil on it, he'll come out.
Okay.
If it's not the head and it's just like a little piece, it's not still alive, his body will reject it and break it down.
Yeah, are there any symptoms that we should look out for?
Pretty much just looking out for Lyme disease and if he has any paralysis.
Okay, because at the moment, like, there's a dark spot where it was.
Yeah, it's probably just like inflamed.
Okay.
It's really agitated.
Yeah, it's probably 1/2 inch long by 1/4 inch wide.
Okay. Yeah, just keep an eye on that. If it gets bigger and you start seeing like a target, just call us back.
Great, thank you so much. That's what they mean by a bullseye. He doesn't have that yet.
We're gonna keep a close eye on it, but we'll keep riding for now.
How you feeling? You feeling paralyzed yet? Not yet? Okay, let's keep going. So the alternative to our lifestyle is to live in a bubble and always be safe and never let anything happen and never enjoy life. So we're gonna just keep being safe, keep checking in for ticks, maybe a little better next time, and keep checking ourselves and be safe. But we're not gonna let that prevent us from enjoying the outdoors, because that's no way for us to live. Got a bunch of branches in here. Don't forget your front brake. That was so fun! Oh, this is amazing. We've been having a lot of fun on this trail, but there are a ton of sticks laying across it that just flip up and fling. It's a miracle we haven't punctured a sidewall, but we did have one casualty. Teresa was riding and one got caught up and it bent her chain ring. Let's see if we can see it. It's right there, bent in. So we'll get home and bend that out, but she can't use her climbing gear right now. It's got a nice little kink in it from where the stick got sucked in there. But we bought these bikes to use them, and we are using them. You're a little bit muddy. It's hard to tell what's a mud and what's a tick. Got a few puddles back there, huh, buddy? You're a good boy, but you need to stay by me, okay? There's that tail wagging. Wag your tail. Good boy. Today's tip is braking. Way too often I see people riding with 2 fingers on their brakes and sometimes even 3. Brakes these days in real mountain bikes that cost over $500 new do not need more than 1 finger. You need as many fingers as possible on the bar to grip it. You don't want to sacrifice like just gripping with your pinky and ring finger by using 2 fingers on the lever. And there's no way, especially if you have disc brakes, there's no way you need 2 fingers. So teach yourself and have your friends check you throughout the ride every 5 minutes and say, how many fingers are on your lever? There should only be 1 on each brake. Part 2 of the brake lesson that I'm going to give you today is applying more front brake than back brake. I don't know where the rumor started, but a lot of beginners I ride with say, oh, I never touch the front brake, I only use the back brake. Well, 70% of your braking comes from your front brake. That's where your traction is when you're going downhill. Think about when you're driving a car and you're on the freeway and you want to slow down maybe 5 miles an hour. You don't just slam on the brakes as hard as you can. That's not how braking works. Same with the bike. You don't just grab it and lock it. If you do that, you'll flip over the bars. But if you apply it like you do in a car with just steady, even braking, both front and back, you will slow down much faster. I see a lot of beginners afraid to flip over their bars so they don't even touch their brake. That's worse because they never end up slowing down as much as they should. And worse, they start skidding, which not only tears up the trail, but it actually slows you down less and you go more out of control than if you had even braking applied. So when you brake, get in attack position, one finger on the bars, and apply them evenly. If you're in the United States, your front brake is on your left hand. If you're in the UK, it's swapped and your front brake's on the right hand. So make sure you're applying enough front brake. It's really hard to go over the front of the bars unless you just grab a whole handful real fast, and you shouldn't be doing that anyway. So check yourself. One finger, applying both evenly, and if anything, a little more front brake, and get in attack position and to weight your bike so it slows down a little better. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Don't forget to use front brake and lean that bike, even in the berms. See what we mean about the sticks? Jeez!
And a bent rotor too.
Probably. Looks okay to me. We're not hearing it. Let's go get Fender in the van and get him some Neosporin on that. There's an all-out war between Teresa and ticks right now.
So, man.
How many did you find?
3 so far.
That's in the last hour.
I mean, they're like right now we're finding them quick, so none of them have like latched on yet, but still.
You're a good boy. You're not in trouble. You're so good.
We're gonna try and get one more trail in before we lose the sun.
Boy, this is amazing riding. Lean that bike more. There you go. You're keeping it a little too upright on the berms. Yeah, that's it. Golden hour, single track with berms, little cute creek crossings. Dang it, now I have a tick and I can feel it, it hurts. Oh, you are incredible!
Die! Should we keep it?
That's one of the thousands of reasons I married her. Yeah, we probably should keep it in case I get Lyme disease and they can test the tick. Did you see anything in there?
No, I got the whole thing.
I kind of heard. I'm like, man, I feel something pinching me. That's the only tick I've seen on myself so far. All those creek crossings disguising the ticks. I need to get some riding tights like that when I'm in tick country. Even though mountain biking looks like intense, extreme action all the time, it can be, but most of the time, it's just a tool to get us deeper into the woods quicker when we don't have, 5 days to hike back in here. We can do a 20-mile bike ride in 2 hours or 3 hours and really cover a lot of ground, and that's a really fun thing about mountain biking. Almost went off there. Man, some people jump that whole thing. Woo-hoo-hoo! Coming in hot. Normally we like to end on a downhill, but when we're the only car, we can't shuttle ourselves. So we have like an hour climb ahead of us. It's gonna get dark, but we brought the headlamps, but we're glad we got to squeeze that in before leaving this cool area. Awesome trail, beautiful area. The locals have been so nice to tell us where to go. I can think of worse ways to spend an evening. When Teresa's chain wheel got chewed up by a stick, she lost her lowest gear. And we just climbed 3,000 feet in elevation on our bikes. And she didn't even have her lowest gear. She's amazing. Do you see a big green van with a white top? Oh man. Now we're missing the shower in our Airstream. That sounds nice. Or a hot tub. We gotta go check for ticks, wipe off the bikes, put everything away, and see if there's a town within an hour of here that's still serving food. If not, we got backup food. I feel a tick on my leg. I gotta go.